Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at some really quiet power for your home. This is the OUPES 600 watt off-grid power station. Alright everybody, welcome back. Now today I'm going to be covering this little power station here, and there is a very good deal on this. This is a 600 watt, 1000 watt peak. In other words, when you turn something on and it peaks at 1000 watts and drops down to 500, this will handle that. A little power station. And this allows you to have a backup source of power for your AC and DC needs, very, very simply. And you're probably wondering why I've been covering so many of these units lately. Well, I happen to like them for a couple of reasons. Number one, they're noiseless. They don't attract attention. You can have something like this in your house and nobody's going to hear it. You can have it on your back porch and nobody's going to hear you running a generator. It won't attract people in a dangerous situation where you want to keep quiet and a low profile. It won't attract people from that noise. You can hear generators, some generators, for up to a mile away. It'll operate indoors, like I mentioned before. It's safe to run indoors. There's no fumes. You don't want to run a gas generator inside, obviously. And this can operate indoors quietly, so if you got a bad rainstorm, if you got flooding conditions, whatever, you can protect this and run it inside somewhere. It is maintenance free. And there's no gas to store. You don't have to stockpile gasoline. Now don't get me wrong, generators have their place. But if you live in an apartment building and your landlord doesn't allow you to store gas in your closet, obviously this is going to come in handy. Also, in today's climate where power outages can happen at a moment's notice, from anything from just rolling blackouts, ransomware attacks, hacking, having a kind of electricity is a huge advantage. You can power all sorts of stuff with this as well as charge things up. You got communications you can power, water pumps, fridges, lighting, AC units as well. Now, I did test this with an AC unit, a 5000 BTU AC unit. It would not work. It overloaded it. But I happen to know that AC unit does draw 1200 on startup. So there are some limitations to a unit like this, but this is a very, very good deal. And I will show you a cooling alternative when we actually test this unit later. A way to keep yourself very, very cool in low humidity conditions where you won't believe how cold you get. Now let me start off by saying that if you're watching this video and you have absolutely no preps, no food, no water, no meds, no shelter, go out and buy those things first. This is what I like to call an advanced prep. This is something you buy after you have your basics in stock. I don't want people to see these units and buy them and be sitting there going, yeah, my cell phone works and my ham radio is working, but darn, I wish I had some food. So you got to take care of that stuff first. If you are prepped up and looking for a way to keep your power going and prevent a grid shutdown or a grid collapse, then this is the video for you. Now, OUPES had seen me doing these power station reviews in the past, and they asked me if I'd be willing to review this, so they did send this out for me to review. And I've been using it out here in the extreme heat now for about a week. Not 2 weeks, a week. It has powered my hammer drill, my Dremel tool, charged my tablet and other devices numerous times. It's even run one of my little ham radios. I had to make up a little plug for it for the 12 volt, but it ran it flawlessly with no RF. Now granted, it was a VHF UHF unit, it wasn't an HF unit. For those of you thinking, this probably has some RF hash in it for HF units, but it ran it fine, no issues at all. So, portable power station, this got 5 ways to recharge. Let me turn on the monitor there for you. I really like the screen too, and it does tell you what you're drawing and how much time is left. I love that in a unit. So you got 5 ways to charge this thing. You got a wall outlet, and it will come with your plugs. So here's your half of your plug for your wall out, and here's the other half. So you got a wall outlet, you have your car charger, but you always want to make sure when you're doing this, the car is running. You don't want to charge this sitting in your parking spot outside with the car off because you'll kill your car battery, okay? You got a USB-C port down there. You have solar panel charging and USB-C. You can do both at once. And you have your 12 volt way to charge it as well. So you definitely have a bunch of different ways to charge this. Now when you use the dual port, just USB-C plus on the wall outlet for charging, it'll take about 3.5 hours. It charges very quickly from 0 to 80%. A wall outlet will take about 7.5 hours. If you're just using the USB-C outlet, it'll take 12 hours. Car charger, while driving again, 10.5 hours, and 200 watt panels will take about 7.5 hours. I have 100 watt panel today, so you double that and make it like 15 hours. Again, we will be testing it out when charging it up with that panel. Another awesome feature of this is it uses lithium iron phosphate batteries, okay? you've got 3,600 charging cycles with those, and it has a UL fire rating of UL 94. So it is fire rated and it is protected. The lithium ion phosphate batteries are what I'm really excited about because they are rated for higher discharge. They don't heat up anywhere near as much when pulling current. You have more charges and they last longer. You have more discharges. The only con really with lithium iron phosphate is it's not as energy dense, so you need a bigger battery to get more power. And this thing is a little bit heavier than some of the other units I've tried, but really not an issue. It's not where it's ridiculously heavy or anything. I'm going to give you a quick tour around. You'll see you have a vent here for a fan. You do have the light, and again, this light is very bright. I'm going to shine it this way so as not to blind you. And it's kind of hard to tell with all the bright studio lights in here, but you get the idea. You have your charging port here. It is the larger port. Let me show you the thing there. And we do have a solar panel that has that on it. And you have your front end here. You have two 600-watt 110 plugs. Your power button here. Your 12-volt here. And the 12-volt is a regulated power supply. When you turn that on, there's a little button here. You'll see these two start up here. Let's turn that off now. And you have all of your USB, your PD plug, your DC 3.0, and your QC 3.0, I'm sorry, and your regular USB. And when you turn those on, you will see that comes up there. So whatever it's powering now, which is nothing, it can do for 99 hours. So what I want to do with this is give it a real test today, okay? I tried it with the AC unit because I wanted to show you guys, hey, this can even power an AC, and it was like, no, because I know that AC unit draws a lot of power. So I don't want to go overboard, but I do want to show you it doing multiple things at the same time with a very high draw unit. So what I've decided to do is use my swamp cooler today to test it out. Now this isn't your stereotypical swamp cooler that sits on the roof of your house or in a window. This is a portable unit, but it still draws quite a bit of current. And we're going to charge up some other stuff with it. We're going to run a fridge. I have the infamous mini fridge here. We'll be running that, as well as the swamp cooler, and we'll be charging up some stuff too. And I want to see how well it performs. And then I'll show you what it looks like when it is charging with a solar panel. So let's get it set up over there, turn it around, and show you what it can run. All right, so here we go. I have my rolling swamp cooler, as you can tell. It's on wheels. This has come in handy out here in the desert many times. When you lose power, you can fill this thing up with water and ice, and that thing just cools you off like nobody's business. It does not work well in high humidity areas, so if you live in Florida again and you get one of these, and you're like, why do I feel even more hot and sweaty? That's why. So, what I have propped up over here is my little miniature thermoelectric coupling cooling and heating fridge type thing, you know. It isn't a real refrigerator, of course. It doesn't have a compressor in it. But it does draw about, I want to say, 30 to 40 to 50 watts. I forget exactly. I think like 38 or 40. And I know that draws a lot too. So what I'm going to do is plug that big thing in first, and we'll see how that does. And then we'll add that to it. Let me grab the wire over here. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is turn on the power on this. So you have to reach down here and hit this button. There we go. And you'll hear it rev a little bit. You'll hear, you know, the fan. So that's normal. Nothing wrong with that. And I think I'm plugging it in backwards, like always. I always do that. Okay, so we got it plugged in. We're ready to go. We're going to turn it all the way up to 3. And I know it's going to be noisy. I do apologize. We are drawing. Let me move the camera over here. We are drawing. What does it show? About, yeah, you guys can see that because I can see it through the viewfinder. About 82 watts, okay, and that gives us, if we back out a little bit, 6.2 hours of cooling. That's really not bad when you consider, you know, that'll cool you off till it gets dark at night, and then you got to charge it up the next day. But if you have 2 of these units, you can kind of alternate, and that's pretty cool. So, let's plug in the refrigerator and see how that does. Hopefully it won't blow everything up. I don't think it will. I think it'll be fine. Plug that guy in here. Turn that power on. And there we go. Now we're up to 120 watts. You've got about 4 hours running on that. And that is running. You saw the numbers change. So, that's a pretty good test right off the bat of what it can do. Let me back you out a little bit. There we go. You can see what it can do there. I'm going to try it on my mini fridge over on the other side here in a few seconds, and we'll see how that does. I just want to give you a quick FYI on effectiveness of these units if you live in a very dry climate. I'm going to point this heat gun at it, and it is about 102 in here. You got 67 degrees coming out of that. So it definitely has a benefit. We're going to point it down at something else. Let's point it at the the power generator. That's 89 right there. So you see how well something like that works, and how something like that little power station can really save your butt in extreme heat. Alright, let's go try it out on the mini fridge. Alright, I got the fridge plugged in here, and I am going to zoom in on that. I left the door open a little on my mini fridge, so you can see. And now it's stopping, it's dropped off. So it shot up to about 350 watts, and then it dropped back down. Whoops, let's reverse that. There we go. And we have the mini fridge all open down here, so I'm hoping that the compressor kicks in and, you know, it cools off, and it did. It kicked it right on there. Made it bounce right up to 300 and something. Seems to work very well with that. Didn't get even slightly bogged down with the fact that was a lot of draw out of nowhere. I'm going to try it in the freezer and just see how well it works with the mini freezer. Not the mini freezer, but my deep freezer. And see if it can tolerate that. It probably can. I'm really not too worried about it, but we're going to try it anyway. Again, I apologize for the lighting. It's not exactly bright over here, but you can see the screen. And it's dropping up and down as the freezer needs to be, you know, charged up as it goes through its cycles. And you see you got 39 hours here, but when it was at full bore, cooling it down, you got up to about 400 watts, and it was about 1.4 hours. So having something like this, it's intermittent. It draws a lot of power, and then it backs off, and then it draws a lot of power. You have a good long time with it. Now you'll notice this little LED, this little icon flashing down here. That means the fan is running. And when this does draw a lot of power, the fan will automatically come on. You can hear it's very, very quiet. Very, very quiet fan. So definitely, it can take abuse. It can take the higher currents. And having something like this to keep all your food in good shape when disaster strikes is pretty amazing. So I think it would definitely come in handy for emergency use. Definitely, without a doubt, you'd be able to keep your freezer running for a good long time. Now, it doesn't support pass-through charging on the AC. So you have to remember that, okay? You have to remember the DC it will let you use on the pass-through charging, the AC it won't. So you're going to need a second unit or a second way to charge this back up. However, for short-term power outages, which is what we're about too as preppers, not just about end-of-the-world grid-down scenarios, something like this. All right, so here's amazing. The setup. You got a 60-watt panel over there. It's just a random 60-watt panel I grabbed out of my storeroom. Got the unit there. Let's get down on the ground and see how this works. It's at 98% now, so we're just going to let it run a little bit, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's charging. And we might have some good luck, because it looks like you can actually see this screen in extreme sunlight, so let's check it out. All right, as soon as I say that, the screen turns off. I'm going to plug it in here. There we go. This is the watts coming in. Now remember, this is a 60-watt panel. It's not super powerful. Getting about 39, 40 watts. That's the little design there, going around in circles. I'm trying to get it so you can actually see it. At least you can see it. The other ones sometimes are so darn dark you can't see anything. So, while I clean up from this video and kind of organize stuff, I'm going to let this charge and see how long I can get it, how long it takes to get it to like 99 or 100. See how it works. See you in a few minutes. Alright, so in about 5 minutes, 99%, still pulling in 39, 41, 40 watts. Doing pretty good. So, let's get it back on the table and finish up. Alright, so that's the deal. Alright, that's basically this unit. I really am liking the way it works. I like this display. That's really nice. The fact that you can see it outside. With most of the other units, I can see them outside, but the camera has a really hard time picking it up. And that could mean it's dim for some people with not great eyesight. So I'm definitely impressed with it. I really like the way it operates. I like the way it works. I've been very happy with it for this past week. We've been running a lot of stuff on this, testing it with other stuff. And it's done pretty good. It's charged my laptop up. It's done a few things. So definitely held up to the use of a week so far. I will let you know if there's any other problems with it in the future. I do like that it's got rubberized sides. You know, I've been meaning to mention this the whole video. The sides of this thing are like rubber armored, as well as the bottom feet. This thing is definitely well constructed. I mean, this is plastic, but it's not that cheap plastic. It's very thick and heavy. And it is rubberized on the side, so any kind of bumping around in your vehicle, you won't have any problems with. I did want to go over a few things about this and show you what the charge times were according to them, okay? Now, according to them, this will charge your cell phone 42 times, your laptop 8 times, your tablet 17 times. It'll run 50.5 hours on a 100-watt light. It'll run 31 charges on a camera, 8 charges on a drone, 10 charges on a mini fridge, 10 hours on a mini fridge, I'm sorry. And we saw, with my mini fridge, it was probably on and off, probably about 10 hours, I would say, yeah. Because it only drew that really powerful current, just enough to cool it off, and then leave it. And then cool it off, and then leave it. So, yeah, it would probably run about 10 hours. You got 17 hours on a fan, 17 charges for a cordless drill, 12.6 hours on a CPAP, a 400-watt CPAP. If you guys are out there camping with your CPAP units, and you need this, you got to know your wattage, but this will do a whole night. You know, if it's 400 watts or less, it'll do a whole night. So you've got all these ports in front here. You know, you've got your 2 little 12-volt, 5.5 millimeter plugs, as well as the cigarette charger, marine charger, whatever they call it. Your 2 600-watt. Remember, that's cumulative. If you put 300 here and 300 here, you're at your 600. It's not going to do 600 and 600. You got your 2 chargers down here, your QC 3.0s, and your PD charger as well. So I like the unit, very cool. Now let me tell you about the price. When I tell you the price, you're probably going to immediately shut off the video. Don't. Because there's a coupon. This is $529.99, so $530, but there is a $190 coupon on Amazon for this. So you're getting, for $340, you're getting a 600-watt unit. Now remember, we've always said it's usually about $1 a watt on some of the better units. That is an amazing deal. If you want a 600-watt unit, if you think it's time to upgrade, maybe sell off your old unit to a family member and upgrade to something better, now's your chance. $340 for a 600-watt unit. And you saw what it can, you saw what it can do here. It obviously works well. So that's the deal. I will have a link down below to my Amazon store with one of these in it. If you're interested in picking them up, they do have an adequate supply as of right now. I know I show stuff on Amazon and it disappears in a heartbeat, but they do have a very adequate supply right now, so you won't have any problems with that. So anyway, that is the OUPES. I don't know if that's OUPES or OUPES, 600-watt off-grid power station. Gotta say, it really performed for me in the past week. Haven't had any issues with it. I have been running it out here, charging lots of different stuff, and charging it back up via the wall. That's the first time I put it on a solar panel. And I was actually impressed. That's just a little, what is it? Oh gosh, a Jackery 60-watt solar panel. Not anything all that exciting. And it, boom, within a few minutes, it had it back up to 99. So definitely a cool little unit. I really like it. You will get everything you need to operate it except for your solar panel. You can buy one after separately. And you will get a owner's manual, which is actually a decent owner's manual. Lots of info in there. So check it out. Link will be down below. You can save $190 if you apply that coupon. So like I said, $340 for a 600-watt unit. Normally, that $530 price tag would be about right. So $340 is a good deal to jump on. Anyway, folks, I thank you for watching. Don't forget to check our links down below. Don't forget to check our My Patriot Supply link. That's preparewithiridium.com. Very easy to order and get stuff stocked up. Have it all packed and sent to your door. It's a set and forget system. You just store water for all your dehydrated food and you're ready to go. Don't forget to check out our freeze-dried wholesalers as well. You click that link, you save 15% on anything he has freeze-dried. 25-year shelf life in the bags. They're really cool stuff. And our Thrive Life link as well. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.